Welcome to Season 11 of Limited Supply, a place for hot takes on what it's really like building and scaling consumer brands. I'm your host, Nick Sharma. Let's get into today's episode. All right, this is a last-minute switch-up on the episode here, but you texted me this morning that I don't even know what you're doing here in New York.
I came to mooch your office. I got a text from Isaac.
Isaac started Mini Katana. Did you start anything before Mini Katana?
No.
Okay, Mini Katana, and then now Kanpai Foods.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful to be an investor in. And he was just in New York and came to work by the office. I always invite people in to come to the office if they're nearby. And then I said, hey, want to record a podcast? And I had an idea, which was we're going to basically come up with a few ideas, maybe 5 ideas each, and we'll see how many we can get through. But things that we wish existed in our ecosystem, you especially with being more into retail lately, me obviously on the digital side, and just thinking through you've launched 2 brands now. We work with a ton of brands. And so what are things that we wish existed either for brands or for us to use with brands that would, I think be businesses that should exist or products that should exist. So anything you want to add before we dive in?
No, but maybe we should start with TikTok.
Oh, yeah. As a brand, you know that you're spending hard-earned dollars driving traffic to your site. The problem is 98% of that traffic is anonymous and you don't know who they are. And once they leave, it's hard to find them again. There's a new tool that helps you identify these visitors and get in front of them. It's called Instant. Instant gives you another chance to convert these shoppers into buyers using their retention marketing platform. You can use their platform to send 2 to 3 times more site abandonment emails, which you already know generates meaningful revenue, and build audiences to retarget on Meta. Double your abandoned flow revenue and increase your ROAS with Instant. Go to instant.one/podcast to learn more. That's instant.one/podcast. What are your thoughts on that? How many views do you currently pull on TikTok?
Not many. 10 million a month through 50.
And where do you normally pull views?
So we're very YouTube centric. The Mini Katana pulls like 1 billion views a month on YouTube.
Wow.
But yeah, man, we kind of divested from TikTok 2 years ago because
I remember you said that.
I mean, I think any brand who's savvy saw this coming.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at history, what
were the early signs to see this coming?
So I think if you look at the geopolitical tensions, they keep getting hotter and hotter.
Mm-hmm.
So as a general, you could say I am bearish on any China-based business, period, and that's a good viewpoint to have, I think, right
mm-hmm.
now. But it was really Trump, for his first presidency, where he tried to ban TikTok.
Yeah,
that was the first kind of, hey, this is really not a good idea to be super invested in here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Last time, I think Oracle almost bought it, no?
Yeah, but I think it's real.
Yeah, it's gone for good?
Yeah, I mean, look, you have really bad geopolitical tensions, and TikTok is basically brain slop disguised as a giant psyop.
Mm-hmm.
Or a psyop disguised as a giant brain slop. And
right.
That's kind of imagine during the Cold War if the Soviet Union bought Fox News.
Yeah.
And I was you know what? We like communism.
Right.
It's awesome. That's inconceivable.
Right.
So why is it conceivable that we're in a new Cold War and we're letting them own a giant media company in the US?
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah. It's a fair point. I mean, I think the argument to have servers in whatever country, it's like how cannabis, you can't ship cannabis across state lines. It has to be grown and sold in the same state. They should have that for servers. That should be a global rule that every company should have.
Well, I think
most of the big companies also come from here.
Yeah, I mean, but privacy is a giant issue in general.
Yeah.
I will say I really hate this is happening. I will miss TikTok. Mm-hmm. I'm here today because of TikTok.
Do you use TikTok Shop a lot with Kanpai?
No. We launched some TikTok Shop for Kanpai, but we pivoted to retail.
I see.
Early on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, do you want to go first with your idea?
Yeah. I wrote down 5 ideas here.
Okay.
So the biggest issue I've run to run into with Kampai. And for context, it's a brand I launched in 2024. We launched into Target that same year, so it's scaling really fast.
And what is it?
It's we sell freeze-dried candy, but we've been releasing SKUs that are not freeze-dried recently, so it's just a viral candy company.
Nice.
Um,
And I feel like after you came to market is when like Skittles decided to come out with their version of freeze dried.
yeah, they launched their version of freeze-dried Skittles
Yeah.
in November.
Which is hilarious because it was definitely driven by the hundreds of millions of views you've accumulated.
I think it's driven by it's a new category for them.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
It was like scary when they launched because a big company's coming into your market. You're like, is it going to affect me?
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually done the opposite. They're pouring a lot of money into it, and it legitimizes the brand.
Right. Yeah. I think I saw a tweet of yours that said you're moving more velocity too.
Yeah, after Mars was launched.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's epic.
Yeah. Ride tailwinds. That's the lesson.
Yeah, totally. What is it? It's like, yeah, I mean, if it's like, with one of these big conglomerates, they come into the space, it just validates the space, and they spend so much money on all the awareness too.
Yeah. And I think also like in front of the consumers, like my biggest issue in a new category is 99% of people don't know what it is.
Right.
So any level of awareness helps me by virtue.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter who produces it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Okay, tell me your idea.
So attribution for retail, for media spend, there's like no one does this in a meaningful way. And I've tried finding like a good platform, and I've asked other founders, and I can't, like, no one has an answer. So specifically, like, how does meta spend impact your velocities and target? I know that's very hard to measure, but I would be surprised no one has like data in the back end to see how that, performs.
Yeah. I feel like there's really the only thing you could do is like an incrementality study, but that is also more directional and not like specific to your day-to-day reporting.
Yeah, I mean, in DTC, you have all these platforms like Triple Whale,
Yeah, Triple and North Beam.
North Beam. It's just nothing exists for retail brands that are multi-channel.
What? Yeah, I mean, I feel like yeah, and the biggest issue is always around like getting the data back from the retailers. And I'm sure like you've gone into these conversations and asked them about data. Like, what's their response usually?
Yeah, so we can pull weekly reports. It's not real time. A lot of people will pull like data from Spends or other large data brokers to see their competitors, right? To get a benchmark. I feel like there's probably a tool that could use a combination of data brokerage services and being digitally savvy to kind of compare the two and contrast, right?
Mhm.
I'm just surprised nothing exists.
Yeah. Is the data you get across different retailers, is that format streamlined? Like, is there a universal format?
Yeah, I mean, we pull reports. We get one report every month.
Mhm.
I'm really cheap, so I basically asked our target broker to send it every month to us. And
Yeah.
it's like I save $40K a year, so
Nice.
it's pretty sweet. But yeah, it gives me a summary of all retailers and all brands and all retailers, and then Target.
Got it. Okay, sick. Yeah, I mean, what would need to happen for that to exist? Basically, the stores would need to be cool with somebody getting that data.
Well, data brokers are getting it somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, like, how do Spins get it? They always call it just scanner data, but I don't know how they get that data.
Somebody told me that card companies like Amex
Yeah, they sell there.
sell on the back end.
But then you still can't get individual item level data that way.
I think you get brand level, right? So
Probably.
I'm not sure of the details, but it's just really this is like $1 billion opportunity,
Yeah, totally.
right? So it's just really shocks me that nobody has done it. The DTC opportunity for that is like smaller.
Mhm.
Like, what's the outcome size for a North Beam? It's in the 9 figures probably, right?
Right,
But for retail, since that has so much more GMV, you're looking at billions.
right. Yeah, totally. It ties closely to one of my ideas I had. A landing page that you can optimize toward, which has the ability for you to run performance marketing ads to it. The kicker is going back to what we were just saying. You would have to be able to get that sell-through data from the retailer. So, for example, if you're working with Target and you use this tool and you're driving, Facebook ads to this page, which is like a landing page, but then you know, lets somebody find the nearest target to them, you know, within 7 or 14, 21 or 30 days, you could see, you know, does somebody end up going to Target and purchasing that product?
I think the theme here is there's just this giant disparage between retailer data and like getting access to it and using things. Like every retailer is really secretive about it.
Yeah.
You know, this idea is really good. It could be as simple as all the people who didn't convert, whenever you have run promo in a store, boom, they get notified.
Right.
And it pushes them to trial a promo. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's a really big part of growing a brand. You're trying to drive repeat through promo.
Right. Have you used the Novel Wallet Pass at all?
No.
They, I think, can do that. Like when you walk into a Target, you get a notification that says, you know, welcome to Target, Compai's on sale.
Oh, that's badass. It just tracks your location on the phone. And
yeah, because it lives in your Apple Wallet. So if you walk into a geofence of Targets that they have saved, then it'll just put a push notification down.
What I always worry about when it comes to these apps is the type of user on them, because a lot of these apps are like deal hunters.
Yeah.
And you're not always trying to get that kind of consumer.
No, totally.
Because that consumer only repeats on promo.
Yeah. Well, the way that this one works is it's not like you go find a coupon site. This would be like you have to send it to the user. So you have to basically get opt-in first. Or you can essentially qualify the user.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
That's cool.
Okay, you want to go with the next one?
Yeah. So I haven't found this, but guerrilla sampling at scale. Ooh. And there's agencies that do this. And what I mean by guerrilla sampling is we have a Cybertruck, we wrap for our brand. We go out in front of Targets without permission and we sample. Why? Because you can't really sample at Target unless you use their in-house agency called Advantage.
Right.
And you're going to get some random kid that's like texting on their phone, not even really working the table. So there's a lot of retailers like that where you can't properly sample, but they're not going to kick you out if you're like in the parking lot in front of the store,
right,
doing sampling. And it has almost the same outcome. People go into the store and buy your candy because you just sampled it.
Yeah.
So that's something I looked for, where you could pay a service or an agency or whatever to do this kind of guerrilla sampling in front of every Target nationwide at scale.
Yeah. How would you want to pay for that?
I think like hourly, right? Because that's usually how it works. You get some person in front of the table, 2 people maybe, and you pay them hourly to do sampling.
Yeah, 100%. Is this something you guys are building out?
No.
Oh.
No. I think if we had a lot of money, we'd buy a few Cybertrucks and go crazy. Like, you know, the Red Bull?
Yeah, of course.
It was the free Red Bull.
Yeah, totally.
I think that works really well for them.
Right.
It's ingrained in everyone's psyche in America.
Yeah.
So crazy sampling campaigns at scale do work.
I agree. Yeah, like the same beverage, cans in hands.
Cans in hands.
Or sips to lips.
Crunch to mouth.
Yeah.
Shark candy.
Candy to, I don't know. Okay, another idea I had was, have you ever heard of Contentful or Salsify?
It sounds familiar.
Okay. From my understanding, both these platforms basically centralize the information across different like e-retailers or storefronts, or, you know, if you let's say you have Compai across, you know, 40 different countries and each one has a different site, you can use Contentful as like you update everything in Contentful and then it distributes across all.
It's an aggregator.
Yeah, it's kind of like a, I guess, asset management platform or content management.
CMS,
yeah. And, you know, all of the, you know, one of the hardest things that people say is like setting up TikTok shop, and like, it's so complex, and all the social shopping platforms have intricacies in their own way or things that make it complex. And I think somebody should create like a Salsify, but for all the social commerce platforms, because, you know, when you have a new product in stock or a new sale you want to run, you know, it's much easier to just do it once and then that reflects everywhere versus, you know, now I got to go to Meta Shops and add the flash sale and then TikTok and then YouTube.
I guess my pushback on that is any channel worth having is a channel that you'll focus on your own.
Yeah, no, totally. But if, like, you know, if you've got a lean team, that still sells well on different channels, or you just have to update content, or let's say you have a large catalog, right?
I think that
we have a huge catalog, like Foot Locker. it'd be hard for them to update them all manually.
Or I think that's the use case.
Yeah, maybe the catalog is the place to do that. Yeah, and then you could also syndicate things like product reviews too.
So it'd be TikTok Shop, Amazon, Shopify. Instagram, is Facebook Shop still a thing?
Facebook Shops, yeah.
It feels like it's not a thing anymore.
I know.
Nobody's
Yeah,
talking
I don't
about
think
it.
it gets much traffic, but
Do you think that's coming back with the TikTok thing?
yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure Facebook is planning to make some huge moves.
I feel like Facebook Meta doesn't even have to do anything. Like they're just gonna immediately be the most benefiting from the ban.
Yeah. They're gonna get a lot of traffic out of this.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. It makes sense. Would it work across international channels too? There's like all these weird, like Temu.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I think the more you could, I think it would probably start with the ones that are core here in the US, but immediately I think you could
Taobao, Temu, Shop.
all of them.
Shop is like huge in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Sick. Hundreds of merchants like Garrett Popcorn, Heaven Mayhem, and Selfie Leslie are making 6 figures in incremental revenue through Instant's supercharged retention marketing platform. It takes less than 60 minutes to go live, and you see results within days. You most likely already send site abandonment emails, but because most of the traffic on your site is anonymous, you don't get to email 98% of those visitors. Instant gives you another chance to convert these visitors into buyers and send 2 to 3 times more cart abandonment emails than you were before. Learn how you can double your abandoned flow revenue at instant.one/podcast. That's instant.one/podcast.
My next idea is, and this I got this from a video. So there's a company called 11 Labs.
Mm-hmm.
You heard of these guys?
I feel like I have.
So they can take your voice, you train it, give it to an AI, it trains the AI, and then translates it into any language you want.
Wow.
And it's your voice. It sounds exactly like your voice. It's just a different language.
Wow.
No accent, none of that.
Wow.
We tested this internally, and if you guys want to see it in use, check out our Spanish mini katana channel. It has 6 million subscribers.
Nice. Oh, 6 million?
Yeah, it launched last year.
What?
Yeah. So we're syndicating the content across multiple languages, right? For our Kenny brand, we're launching like 20 languages this year, and we're front loading all this awareness into other markets because this is going to be a global company.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed there's no company that specializes in doing this for ads. Like, what if you could have your entire infrastructure built in the US for building meta ads, and then you have a company that comes in, automatically translates it, and might even manage it in other markets like Europe,
Right.
Brazil, etc.
Yeah. So this would be almost like creative production specific to international markets.
For like multi-language. So you wouldn't have to get like local influencers or creators. It could be the same creatives.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Would that need to be, I guess that would mainly be then like a software product, right? You could basically just plug in. I mean, you could even do it where like you just plug in your ad account, it grabs the creative, changes the language, and then launches the ad.
Yep.
Either internationally or to like a Spanish speaking market here.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many barriers to entry into international markets, logistics being the hardest, but this is the second hardest easily.
Yeah. Is it creative?
How you understand the local dialect, local language.
Right.
Yeah, it can really help with that. I also think, and I'm going to steal the thunder here, this segues into my next idea, which is doing this, but for Shopify websites.
Mm-hmm.
We looked into translating our website a year ago. I couldn't find any good AI solutions, and I think AI has come far enough for that.
Yeah, agreed. I bet you could totally do that with AI.
Yeah, and you can launch it across all the weird marketplaces, and then plug in your content creator app.
Yeah, I mean, Shopify is also so simple to edit that you wouldn't even have to lift a finger. The AI could probably edit all of the text on the site too.
Yeah, and you could just hit an approval button for each page.
Right.
Have somebody who might be able to read the language, translate it.
Yeah, or you could use AI to translate it again.
Yeah, well, there you go. I think what gets missed in translations is like context and jokes and puns.
Totally. But if the AI can make up for that, then you're chilling.
Exactly. And it has come far enough. I mean, with this 11 Labs thing, we've tested it. I speak Portuguese.
Yeah.
So I have it translated to Portuguese, and it's like, it sounds like a São Paulo accent.
Right.
speaking natively. It's like freaky.
Yeah. And same voice.
Same voice.
Crazy. I got to check that out. I got a few languages I wanted to do that in. Okay. So so this is an idea that came to mind as I was talking to somebody yesterday. And the idea is I was talking to, do you know David Siegel?
Jog my memory.
He started Firebelly with Harley and David's Tea.
Yeah.
Now he's the president of High Beam. And we were just talking about
I didn't know he ran High Beam.
Yeah, he just became the president there. We were talking about M&A activity. And then I was thinking, High Beam should build this product where it's like an M&A, kind of like a junior M&A analyst or something, where essentially you could plug in all the pipes from, maybe it's like it connects into Shopify, into Facebook, Klaviyo, all the main things, maybe even your ERP or, any sort of store sales data that you could upload. And it basically just like runs an analysis. Like it looks through all the customer list. It can take that and run it through the like TransUnion API to make sure they're legit customers, valid customers. It's not a bunch of Fugazi basically. It could run a true LTV, CAC, profit, inventory cost analysis, make sure everything is legit in what they're saying, verbally or putting down. And then essentially give you a light decision of like, yeah, this is looking like a good deal, or no, it's not. Maybe, if it leverages AI, you can put in like what you plan to do or how
It could help you plan too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could help you plan. In fact, that's one thing that they're already doing is inventory planning.
So it's almost like you hire part-time junior financial analyst.
Yeah.
To give you insights, data, and give you feedback.
Yeah, and it basically understands how to interpret like store sales data and customer data,
because those details matter. Like,
yeah, they hugely matter, and they're so hard to, like who has time to go through and upload? You can't even get that permission to download and upload a customer list.
Like a retail brand looks great, and then you look at the customer list, and it's like the discount stores,
Exactly.
all like only discount stores. And you're like, this is not a great brand,
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So this could be a tool. Obviously you have to do a bunch of your own due diligence and like, especially if it's a physical product, but this could be a good like preliminary way to get the first, 2 meetings out of the way.
And also to give a founder feedback.
Yeah,
exactly. That's something even worth pursuing at this layer.
Exactly.
Because I feel like the M&A markets are so close-lipped.
Yeah.
In a way, like there's not a lot of data about how do you know when your brand's ready for exit?
Yeah. I mean, even if you think about like, where do you get information on this data? It's like, you just have to ask bankers or
know somebody.
Yeah. Or know somebody.
Yeah. It's all very tight-lipped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do your fourth idea? Because I used 2 of my slots.
No, go for it.
My last idea is, and this is like probably the simplest one, you press a button and it turns on automated retail media campaigns and all the retailers you plug into: Target, Walmart, Instacart. If you're on DoorDash, right?
Mm-hmm.
We started spending on retail media, not large amounts, a few hundred a day, just to kind of drive more trial and get our feet wet. And it's super easy. Like it's kind of like it's a no-brainer, right? And you have to, like, an AI could totally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I haven't found a tool that kind of just will do it automatically and give me one unified dashboard and report.
Yeah. Almost like those old school Facebook ads platforms like Adespresso, but for retail media. And I think you can totally do all of the optimization on top. Like, why couldn't you? I mean, it's got to be pretty easy to decide whether you allocate more dollars to Target today or Walmart or DoorDash.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's say you're running a promo on Target.
Yeah.
You have like a 10% off, Circle members only, TPC as it's called. And you want to make sure you can spend $5,000 a day to really drive that promo up.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you can see all your promos you're running in one dashboard and also spend across all your accounts. Like I don't know why it doesn't exist. It seems like a very easy thing to build.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why. Maybe those APIs are not readily available.
Make it use AI agents that read this. APIs are no longer a barrier to anything.
Yeah, that's so true. You could just run agents to do that. Yeah, somebody should build that. Would you invest in that?
Yeah, I'll drop an angel check.
Sick. Okay, one idea. I had one idea, but I think it got created already. It was basically third-party testing of all these supplements that exist. There's I don't know if you've seen on Twitter. There's a woman named Val, and she calls out brands like health and supplement brands.
I saw her. I thought it was funny.
Yes, it was epic. So, I was thinking there should be like a company that does third-party lab testing, and then I was on the Cure Hydration website, and they actually had a widget that said, this is our third-party lab tested results, and it's a company that you basically every time you have a new production batch, you send 1 or 2 bags there, and it gets tested, and your results get updated on your site.
Have you ever seen on Twitter? Did you see that guy who tested every single food brand, like large food brand, for plastic?
Yes,
Yeah.
it made an iPhone app, right?
Yeah, it feels like there should be all these indexes.
Yeah,
I feel like people are really starting to care more and more about their health.
totally.
Somehow Kampai has less plastic than like known like actual food brands.
Really?
Yeah, and I think what it is like a lot of brands will have something weird happen in their supply chain, like maybe a manufacturer is like using plastic and heating it up somewhere, and then like a ton of plastic sneaks in.
Yeah.
Could happen to anyone.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I have one more, or actually 2 more. Do you have any more?
Let me check. Why don't I open that? No.
Okay,
I
so
only got 5. You only
one I have is a better version of a customer referral software. So like most referral platforms today are, like send 5, get 5, or like, if I want to get you on a Jolie shower head, it's like I have to go to the website, go find my unique URL, and then send it to you, and then you have to click that URL and then go buy the product, and then once you buy it, I get $5 and you get $5.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like it's such a shitty experience. It's not even worth $10 that we would collectively save.
I feel like everyone values their time too much.
Exactly.
Like that used to work though. Back in the
Yeah.
peak Uber day when they would give you massive referrals.
Totally. Now, but what's interesting is like with Uber and also with Dropbox, which you used to get free storage data.
And that's actually how they grew so big so fast.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, those integrations were so native to the experience, right? It was like within the app that you're already using, there's an option to get free rides or get more data storage. And it's just like you click once and then you click text and you just text a link. You don't have to like go find the link and do all that. And so I was thinking, there's 2 things here. One is I don't know that if there's a way here, but to make a more consumer app feeling referral system that populates on the mobile site experience. But I don't know how possible that is. The other idea I had was like, imagine if Jolie had a phone number, like a iPhone number, or I guess any kind of phone number, where if I was hanging out with you and I was like, bro, you got to try this Jolie shower head, and I could just make a group chat with you and Jolie and be like, hey Jolie, this is Isaac. He's one of my friends. Can you get him set up with a shower head and a discount?
What if it's just as simple as a post checkout extension that you can share with a friend that gives them a credit?
But that's still the same concept then as like the get 5, give 5 in terms of placement of where you're pulling the URL from. Right?
But like, I think the thing that makes it so transactional is you're getting a credit for it though.
Yeah,
like
fair.
It's just like, bro, they just gave me $20 in credit for a friend. I'm just gonna send this to you.
Yeah,
it's a bro move. Like, what if you just consolidate it all and give it to your friend as a post checkout extension?
Yes, totally. I think I agree. I mean, that would be way better if I was like, instead of me getting $10 and you $10, you take the 20.
Yeah, screw it. I mean, you're gonna do your homie a favor if it's a great product.
I think it's actually more of you get more clout that way.
Yeah, and you can also like put it in your packaging too, so it arrives. It's like,
HelloFresh does that. Like they have these little cards that are like $50 gift cards that come with your order, and you can just hand them out to people.
Yeah, I've gotten one of those. Actually, I think that's why my fiance signed up.
Really? She got one?
Yeah. So that works.
Nice.
But yeah, making that into a SaaS would make sense.
Yeah, I feel like the group chat referral concept is the same way you'd intro somebody. If you were like, you should meet this person.
That kind of sidebar. Remember Groupon?
Yeah,
it kind of fell off. What if like somebody made a new Groupon that worked like Venmo? Like everyone would just pull money together for a thing, and then everyone got a discount off that thing for bulk buying.
What's an example?
Like, let's say we all want to get, I don't know, like a HelloFresh subscription because you just mentioned them, And if I pull together 10 friends,
Yeah.
we all get 30% off, like for a full year.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like a group buying. They get a discount for the bulk.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool.
And it works more like a social app. Like,
right. It's like, how much would you save in CAC or in spending on to acquire these same customers?
10 customers, 30%. Like 50 customers, 50%.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, because that was the Groupon concept. It was group buying.
Right.
And in China, that's popular too. Like a lot of the major e-com websites started out as a bulk buying thing. But Groupon kind of fell off because it was low tier, low quality, stuff.
Wow.
So what if it's actually quality brands and you just get a massive discount as a group?
Yeah. That's genius. Yeah, somebody should totally do that. There's like, have you heard of that company Goody?
No.
Goody is like a platform. I think it's on goody.com. And like, you can basically, if I want to do corporate gifting, but didn't want to deal with, like this year, we bought a bunch of speakers, branded them, and then shipped them out to clients. If I wanted to just gift everybody a parachute sheet set, I could just go to Goody, fill out everybody's name and email, write a note, and then it goes out to everybody and says, oh, Nick has gifted you this
Also,
thing.
it makes corporate gifting easier.
Super easy.
Yeah.
But, they have the pipes into all these companies to be able to place orders and do, they all have separate rates for buying different stuff. So
I feel like commerce is old school commerce was a social experience. Totally. It's not as much anymore, but imagine pre-ecom, you go out with the girls, you go shopping. You bring your bros and you go to line up in front of a store for a shop. It used to be like a real social activity. And I think ecom has kind of removed a lot of that.
Yeah.
But people at their heart crave social activity, and you can make buying a social activity again.
Yeah. I mean, group buying, that's a great idea.
But imagine if we could get like 5% off a Rolex if we bought it together.
Yeah.
There you go.
Totally. That would crush. I mean, companies, technically, if you were to reach out, like they would probably all do it. If you reach out, one by one, or like, I'm even thinking when I go to Apple and buy 10 laptops, I get a discount versus if I just buy one laptop.
Yeah. I mean, they do it already.
Yeah.
It's about doing it as
making it more
easier. And most consumers don't even know this. Mm-hmm. We had a guy who runs like a martial arts dojo. He was like, I want to buy 10 swords and I would be your best quality. They're like $1,000 each. I only gave him 30% off.
Yeah.
He just saved himself $3,000.
Right. That's awesome. I like that idea. My last idea is the concept of app clips. Are you familiar with app clips? We were talking about it for a second before.
Oh, you mean the Nikita Beer?
Yes. Similar to what he just did with Explode. I should have known that was him.
You didn't know that was him?
No, but I got one yesterday and I was like, this is so good.
Yeah.
Explode app.
Let me pull up a screenshot. Can the camera see screenshots?
The camera can see screenshots. Yeah.
Let me pull up a screenshot. So this is,
move it back. There you go.
Maybe you can zoom in. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is what Explode looks like. And it will show this thing in your home screen.
You get a text message that says you have a new photo and it's about to explode. You open it, you view it. It's kind of like Snapchat, basically, but Snapchat within iMessage.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get very far.
Really?
Because I think Snapchat is just very sticky.
Yeah.
It's a great experience.
Yeah, totally. But anyways, app clips allow you to take one function of an app or one page of an app and not have you install something, but rather you can get, just like here, you can get it texted to you and open the whole experience. Or a lot of times, if you're at a restaurant and they use Toast as their point of sale, they'll have the QR code at the bottom. You can scan it. It opens a beautiful bill experience, and then you can double click and pay with Apple Pay. And I'm just surprised more apps don't use app clips, or nobody's created the ability to create app clips on the fly. I think building an app, a mobile app for your store can make sense for sure. But I think everybody could be using app clips.
I think the mobile app store builders will probably release their own version after this episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's been around for over a year. App clips came out, they were announced in 2023. And I thought we were going to see them last year, but nobody did. But imagine if you're getting a subscription to Kanpai, right? Your next subscription order is about to ship and you get a text and it's an app clip and it says, choose your free sample that you want in your box this month.
I mean, it's like anything else though. So when I started Mini Katana, social commerce wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
There were 10 brands doing it the way we were. After TikTok Shop came around and there was actual awareness, because TikTok wanted people to know about it.
Right.
There are thousands and thousands. So it's like anything else. If it's new, there's an arbitrage opportunity and nobody's going to know about it.
That's true. Somebody should build the ability to make app clips on the fly
For anything.
for anything. Yeah. Okay, those are all the ideas I had, and we should probably do this again at some point.
Yeah, down.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening to this week's episode. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I'll see you next week.